The chapter of Preaching Tao, Article 45, Dialectics of Mind and Form, Phenomenon. Xiefeng. November 10, 2008. Humans are originally without mind, the mind arises from form. Form is phenomenon, and all phenomena give rise to the mind. Without form, there is no mind. Without the form of a computer, there is no computer mind. Without the form of parents, there is no parental mind. Without the form of the world, there is no world mind. Whatever appears before the eyes should give rise to the mind. When there are no forms in sight, there is no corresponding mind. If the five senses, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch, perceive no form, there is no mind for them. Myriad forms give rise to myriad minds. As forms change, the mind follows. If forms do not change, the mind remains serene, but when forms change frequently, the mind becomes chaotic. A chaotic mind is unsettled, and the spirit cannot reside within, making one like a wandering soul, lost and lamenting. When the mind follows the changes in form, one falls into the mundane world. Constantly chasing after forms makes one a worldly person. If the mind is attached to forms, smells, tastes, touches, and dharmas, it is difficult to transcend the mundane world. When the mind follows the changes in forms, it becomes restless, like having a thief nearby. If one's wisdom does not transcend forms, they remain an ordinary person. If the mind does not change with forms, one is a sage. Let forms change, while the heart remains steadfast with the Tao. Flowers bloom and fall, clouds roll and disperse, no matter how varied the forms are, the mind remains calm and clear, like the bright sun and moon. Transforming forms with the mind makes one a celestial being. Darkness becomes dawn, winding paths become straight roads, suffering turns into sweetness, adversity becomes prosperity, death becomes rebirth, and rebirth becomes death. What is pleasant becomes more pleasant, and even discomfort becomes pleasant. Understanding the essence of forms allows one to play celestial melodies daily. Creating forms with the mind makes one a super-celestial being. The mind transcends all forms, my mind is serene. Emptiness is form, form is emptiness, form is not different from emptiness, and emptiness is not different from form. All dharmas are empty of inherent nature, forms arise from the mind. Thus, the mind is form, and form is cessation. There are no attachments, no obstructions, no fears, no worries, no troubles. Wherever the mind creates, there are green mountains and clear waters, and when the mind is quiet, there is always a profound sense of tranquility. If the mind creates forms of dharma, it becomes a constraint. Dharma sets no rigid rules, it is ever changing. Times change, 30 years on the east bank of the river, 30 years on the west bank. If one clings to forms of dharma, it leads to death, but if one is free from forms of dharma, it leads to flexibility, vividness, and countless wonders in all forms. If the mind harbors forms of non-dharma, it leads to arrogance and follows the path of demons. The universe everywhere manifests Buddhist teachings, which have been eternal. If one desires beyond the bounds, one will face conflicts and struggles everywhere. Even with countless miraculous powers, one will suffer in hell. What has been said above may seem contradictory. Whether it is contradictory or not depends on one's realm. In a confined space, contradictions are everywhere. If one generates the mind from a holographic perspective, there is no contradiction. The way of the mind and the way of form are infinitely profound and miraculous. The changes in miraculous powers are contained within. The way of the mind is consciousness, and the way of form is structure. As they reverse and cycle, energy follows. The gate of Chanyuan is about to close, leaving this one method for you to play with.